Good evening, everyone. Respected Dean Academics of Akal University, respected faculty members, my dear friend Anurag, all my dear students who are present here, who are gathered here in this gathering. It's an honor to be here in Akal University and to represent and share with you the knowledge of being in civil services with all of you. So I was interacting in the afternoon with some of the students that my friend Anurag is working with currently, and we had a lot of informal interaction, and as per their suggestions I should continue on the way I was telling them. So let me start with basically all of you must be knowing what is about the UPSC preparation and what is the syllabus, how is it going to be, but everyone wants to know what happens actually as a officer, that when you are an IAS officer, what is your day-to-day job? How are you living it? What goes behind those walls? When you pass a DC bungalow, you see their walls, and then you think, what is behind those walls? You always try to think. I have a very faint memory in my childhood. So I was in Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology in Allahabad. So I was doing my BTech. So one day I was in civil lines, and that day a cavalcade of the district deputy commissioner was going, and all the traffic, it stopped, and I was saying, who is this person for whom the entire traffic has stopped? Something fishy must go on. Then I saw an ambassador car, and there it was written Jilla Magistrate Allahabad. Then I was in awe. This is a guy who we can aspire to be. From that day I had a faint institution. And coming from my background, I want to tell you that my father is a head clerk. He retired recently in 2018. So I am from a very humble background, and my father has always been in that collectorate area, and he always knew the power of being a collector. And he always motivated me that, Anshul, you should become an IAS officer. So it is in those moments that after finishing my engineering, that I laid my background for preparing the preparations of this UPSC Civil Services examination. So it was in 2012 that I was placed in one PSU, KRIBCO, Krishi Bharati Cooperative. I was placed in. I was well settled in. I had a decent package of 7 to 8 lakhs at that time. So I was in a comfortable position. But then again in this background, if you think, I left that job. And then I started my preparation in Delhi. In the first attempt, I used to study a lot. So it was the first time, since it is first time. So you try to gain a lot of knowledge. You try to learn new subjects. For example, in BTech, you only learn about electronics or electrical. You go to practicals, you do your labs. You don't know about history in depth. You don't know about geography. You don't know about environment. You don't know about forestry. You don't know the minute details of what is going on in international politics or what is going on in political science. There is a wide myriad of things that you can learn from there. So I started reading that. So in the first year, it was very good experience. I used to read a lot, starting with the NCRTs, then going in detail with the books that the coaching recommended for that time, or various blogs that I used to read. And after coming back home, I used to study around 13 hours. Then I used to make notes. Then again I went to coaching for 3 or 6 hours, one in the morning, so entirely I used to sleep only 4 to 5 hours in the first year. So in first year I did a lot of hard work. But in that year what happened is that as hard work is also important, but smart work is more important than that. So I did not used to practice answer writing. So in pre I got cleared. I knew always that pre I'll get cleared, no worries. And in mains I have confidence that I have a lot of knowledge because I was reading it. It was my perception. I may not have. But nonetheless, when I started my answer writing, when I gave my first exam UPSC, so first what happened, I got the OMR sheet. I was very nervous. So I filled the roll number wrongly in the answer sheet. My hands were shaking, and then started the essay paper. In the essay paper, you won't believe, I had left, there were 2 essays at that time. I was able to complete only one essay and half of another one. If it was of 1500 words, I only wrote around 600 words. And then I started with the next paper, GS papers. And I was not able to believe that in my writing speed was so slow that I left around 60 marks in that paper. That was my failure in that attempt. And I came to know that I have to work on my answer writing. So in the next year I was practicing answers a lot. My study time reduced because I had already studied previous year, so I used to revise a lot. And newspaper was going on parallelly. So in the next year what happened is, again I got cleared in pre, wrote my mains, but this time I was in interview stage. In interview stage, I got the chairman of the board as Honorable H.C. Verma sir. He is a very reputed IIT Delhi faculty, and he was the chairman there, and he asked me one or two questions. So in good humor I'll tell you what was there. So the gathering was like this. This was the table, let's say. He was sitting here. Here was a computer set. He was working on the computer set. I was sitting at there. There was a lone seat. And there were 2-3 members also there. One was psychology analyst. Another 2-3 members were there. So as soon as I entered, I was very afraid. I was shaking. I was nervous. As soon as I entered, he started asking me question. Okay, Anshul, what is your name? I gave some background. But I was nervous at that time and my hands were shaking for the first time. So he asked me a question that from which college you are. So I said, sir, Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology, Allahabad. He asked me next question. Okay, who is the mother of Motilal ji? And I was blank at that time. I had no answers. What to tell him? I had no answers. And after that question, he started asking me about the Gandhi family. Who is the mother of Indira Gandhi? Like that. So I lost my confidence. Then what he did, after 2 questions, he started working on his computer and he lost interest in me. At that moment I realized that everyone has lost interest in me. I was out of the door after 15 minutes. In that attempt I realized that my mistake this time is that I had crossed a certain knowledge barrier, but my communication skills were not enough to crack that exam that year. So that year, that was my second attempt, let's say. First attempt I gave in college. I didn't study. Second attempt was the one I was telling you about, the mains answer writing. Third attempt was this H.C. Verma episode, sir, H.C. Verma episode. Now comes the fourth episode. Till this time, your parents are bringing up the pressure, bringing up the heat. Okay, what is happening? What are you doing in Delhi these days? Huh? इतना समय निकल गया है, कर क्या रहे हो दिल्ली में आप? So after that, it was very hurtful also at times, but certain things were going on. Actually, this journey is very long journey. Around it takes, for one attempt, it will take you around 1 to 1.5 years minimum. और अगर उस 1.5 साल के बाद में, 1-1.5 साल के बाद में भी आपका कुछ रिजल्ट नहीं निकलता है, then you are blank back to वो 0 पॉइंट पे आप वापस आ जाओगे आप. फिर से आप प्री दो, फिर से आप मेंस दो. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि आपने पिछली बार इंटरव्यू दिया तो इस बार आपको प्री ऐसे क्वालिफाई करा देते हैं. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. फिर से स्लेट 0 पे हम लोगों ने शुरू करा. देन केम माई फाइनल अटेम्प्ट. इन द फाइनल अटेम्प्ट दिस टाइम आई वॉज क्वाइट रिलैक्सड. सो आई यूज टू वॉच अ मूवीज इन द लास्ट अटेम्प्ट जिसमें हुआ था मेरा, उसमें मैं ज़्यादा मूवी देखता था. तो उसमें मैं बैठ करके शुरुआत में, क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि आई ऑलरेडी हैव रेड अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, अब मुझे बस रिवाइज करना रहता था. मैं रिवाइज करता रहता था, उससे हो जाता था. लास्ट अटेम्प्ट में पापा ने कहा दैट यू शुड स्टार्ट गिविंग अदर एग्जाम्स. Till the third attempt, I didn't give a single exam. I only prepared for this UPSC Civil Services and my was dream to be IAS officer. In the last attempt, I thought यार इस बार तो कुछ कर लेते हैं, वरना बहुत दिन होता जा रहा है. गली की आंटी पूछने लगी क्या करता है भाई लड़का आपका, हो नहीं रहा है लड़के का. तो so in the last attempt, I gave SSC examination. पापा said you give also PO examination also. तुम्हारा लग नहीं रहा हो पाएगा इसमें, PO भी दो तुम. So I gave the bank PO examination as well, and first result was the bank PO, and I didn't have expertise in that. I failed in that exam. घर वाले कहने लगे भाई बैंक PO नहीं निकल रहा, IAS क्यों निकालोगे? ऐसे ऐसे होने लगा. Then came, after the hard days are over, there comes a good time always. After the dark is over, there always comes the when the sun rises. So after that I gave the SSC examination. SSC examination went beautifully. I became a excise inspector also. Then came another examination, Indian Forest Service examination. Now I always have confidence in the pre-examination. Pre-examination I knew that I'll crack it, whatever be the case, 200 में से. For example, if the cutoff in the last attempt the cutoff went 109 around, my number was 145. प्री में एकदम अच्छे से मैं करके जाता था, और इसी वजह से उसका जो फॉरेस्ट का होता है, इट इज़ द सेम एग्जामिनेशन. So the cutoff is higher of the forest exam. So I was not preparing for forest as such, but the exam got cleared. Now that exam in the mains, what I had to do is, mains बिल्कुल अलग हो जाता है. I hadn't read about any technical. I do not have any technical expertise about the forestry. But I had the knowledge of general studies, and in general studies I used to study two subjects. One was about the environment. In the environment I used to study forestry, about the forest, that what kind of forests are there, what is the geographical condition. And second subject was geology. In the geology I had read the geography portion, and geomorphology portion I had read. So around 20% of things I knew, and based on that confidence I went in the exam. So in the exam came questions. There came 6 questions, let's say. So in the first paper of geology I was thinking कि अब इन 6 में से क्या करूँ, because मैंने 60% पोर्शन छोड़ ही दिया था, सिलेबस ही कवर नहीं करा, बस 40% पढ़ के गया था. और मुझे पता भी कितने दिन के लिए लगा था, बस 5 दिन के लिए. 5 दिन का समय था. 5 दिन में मैंने कहा कि ये जो पुराना ज्योग्राफी वाला है उसी को रिवाइज कर लेता हूँ. सो व्हाट आई डिड इज, मैंने बहुत सुंदर सुंदर हैंड राइटिंग में वो 2 क्वेश्चन लिखने चालू करे, और बहुत अच्छे से मैं पूरा समय ले करके मैंने बड़े बड़े आंसर, उन्होंने कहा 200 वर्ड में 400 वर्ड लिख कर गया उसमें. अब कुछ करने को तो था नहीं, आखिरी में बैठ करके सबकी शक्लें देख रहा था कि क्या करा जाए. सो द एग्जाम वेंट in the forest service. I got through the mains. Then came the interview. Honorable Shri Manveer Singh sir board was there. He was a very good chairman, and unlike HC Verma sir, he encouraged me. So when I sat in the interview, he said, okay beta kya chal raha hai, how are you, how are things at school. He put me in the comfort zone, and then he started asking the questions. I was very relaxed at that time, and then I answered those questions in a good manner. I was working at that time with an NGO called Pratham, which is which used to teach work with children. So one day I was coming back from teaching the children back to my home. After getting back from the metro station, I got a call from my friend that check the results. The forest results have come. So I saw, when I opened the Excel, this PDF, I saw my name there. It was a very good feeling, because for the first time such a big examination I was able to clear, and I can't tell you, I was very much elated. So I started jumping at the metro station. Everyone was asking what happened. So I कुछ बोला नहीं, बस चला गया मैं. फिर फॉरेस्ट एग्जामिनेशन जब क्लियर हुआ, I was very much confident and it felt very great. After the forest examination, I was also giving the third exam, APFC, Assistant Provident Fund Commissioner examination. So I had already cleared the pre and the mains, and I was awaiting the interview results. Now all these things are going on simultaneously. ऐसा नहीं है कि अलग अलग चल रहा है कि पहले SSC हुआ, ये सब कुछ साथ साथ में चल रहा है, एक महीने के गैप पे चल रहा है. किसी का प्री चल रहा है तो किसी का मेंस हो रहा है, ऐसे करके चल रहा था. So IAS interview also came after this forest interview, forest results. When I came to know कि अच्छा मेरा forest में हो गया, my IAS mains result came and I got selected through the mains. So I went, I got a call from the UPSC to appear in the interview. Now this time, this last attempt, I already had full confidence that मैंने forest service निकाल ही लिया है. I am already a forest service officer. Why to panic so much? Let's go with confidence. So I was like coming inside the chairman's. I came in the room. Now this time my body language was different. I was entirely confident. Okay, let's see what happens. What will happen maximum? They'll throw me out of this. So interview started, and at that time my board was PN Sai sir board. Now he had a reputation that he is very strict and he won't give marks. मैंने कहा let's see what happens. So our interview went for around 35 to 40 minutes. It was a very cordial interview, and it went very smoothly. And outside the premise of UPSC, every time my father used to come with me whenever I was in mains or interview, and that time he told me, आज हो जाएगा तेरा. मैंने कहा क्या हुआ पापा, what happened? कह रहा आज हनुमान जी आए थे. मैंने कहा हनुमान जी आए थे? कह रहे एक बहुत तेज हवा चली थी और मुझे लग रहा आज तेरा हो जाएगा. अच्छा पापा. मैंने कहा let's see पापा. So after some days the result came. So I was sitting on my bed in a room, and suddenly on the landline phone some friend told me that UPSC का रिजल्ट आ गया, एक बार चेक कर ले. मैंने चेक करा रिजल्ट, अब मेरा नाम उस पर लिखा हुआ था. It was such a feeling I can't tell you. It was so wondrous feeling. I was jumping from my bed. मम्मी आई, क्या हुआ क्या हुआ? I told her कि ऐसा हुआ, and she also started jumping. ये कर लिया कर लिया. बहुत अच्छा था वो दिन. तो पापा को बताया, बहुत अच्छा लगा. And another thing was that I was preparing with my friend Chandramohan Garg. So he also used to live with me. We were school friends, and then we started also preparing together, and we were living in Rajendra Nagar also together. So next search was about Chandramohan, whether he got selected or not. And when I selected his name, searched his name, he also got rank 25. I was so much happy that we both got selected the same way we are working. So this was my journey till the selection. After the selection, it was 29th of August in 2016 that Labasna invited us to the academy. That you are invited. I was very happy. I went in the train to Mussoorie. After reaching Mussoorie, there are a lot of services. The first phase is of 3.5 months is foundation course. So in the foundation course, services, all the services are there. Let's say foreign services also there, revenue services also there, audit and account services also there. So you must have a basic idea that in civil services there are a lot of services. Group A, Group B. Group A services, many services are there. Indian Administrative Services, Indian Police Services, Indian Foreign Services, Indian Revenue Services, Indian Audit and Account Services, Indian Information Services, and the list goes on and on. There are around 20 to 30 services. So people from all these services were a mixed pool, and they came together in the foundation course. And it was such an experience to know someone from Tamil Nadu, from Kerala, from Punjab, from UP, from Northeast. Everyone was there, and you get to know about the myriad things that are happening in India. So lot of friends, new friends you are going to meet. The campus is absolutely beautiful. The मसूरी की वादियों में कहा जाता है कि इतना अच्छा लगता है. वहाँ पर आपको ट्रैक कराएंगे. Every Saturday we have treks there. Then comes the winter study tour, जो हम लोग भारत दर्शन कहते हैं. In that, an all paid expense visit to the entire India will be covered by the Labasna Academy. आप लोग को सिखाएगा वो कि भाई आर्मी अटैचमेंट में क्या होता है. How the Jawans are fighting near the border. How the ports are working of India. They'll take you to Mumbai and show you at the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust कि कैसे काम करते हैं. They'll take you to a Bangalore waste management facility, that how the waste is getting managed in such a municipal corporation as a mammoth organization as Bangalore Municipal Corporation. So you get a basic idea that you get to know all about these things. After the winter study tour is over, the academics are going on, and also extracurriculars are going on. Beside this, in the last phase you will be taken to a foreign visit, because it's all about the exposure. In the academy, the aim is not to, because you have cleared a certain knowledge base you have already there. You have read the NCRTs, you have cleared such an examination that it is expected that you know this much. And what you lack is the experience and exposure. And they'll take you towards to entire India, and for that matter to another country. For in my case, I went to London. So it was a very memorable journey. In London we went. A group of half went to South Korea. In London it was a good trip. We used to do the lectures in the morning, and in the evening we used to go out and see the streets of London, food of London. So it was a good experience altogether. Now after this London visit is over, the session in Mussoorie, that is the phase 2, it gets over. So you get a basic idea कि आपने तैयारी करी. You get to Labasna Mussoorie Academy. You clear your foundation course, phase 1, winter study tour, phase 2, London visit or South Korea visit, and then you are given the districts, your cadre. Now I was allotted Bihar cadre. Now cadre is, you get the cadre based on two or many criteria are there. No one can say for sure that if you are ranked 1, you will get your home cadre. It's not like that. There are many criteria based on which you will get the cadre. So I got Bihar cadre. In Bihar cadre, I was first very apprehensive that what will happen in Bihar cadre. It will be a Gunda Raj. What will happen to me? But when I went there, I was given Samastipur district. I was a probationer there. It was a very relaxed job. My job was that here this is the table. DC will sit here and I will sit there at the right side. And my job was for an entire year was to just observe him, what we was doing. And for that, I got a car, I got a bodyguard, I got a driver, I got a bungalow. And also, I got someone who will always be with me to carry my files and folder. So for the first time I said, sir, who is this guy? कह रहे ये पानी वगैरह पिलाएगा तुम्हें. मैं कहा पानी तो मैं खुद पी लेता हूँ सर. कह रहे नहीं नहीं रखो रखो इसको. At that moment I didn't had that intuition that he is also a necessity part of our paraphernalia. After the probation days, in probation simple, the DM is like your father or your fatherly figure and he will mentor you. You will just observe in that how he is talking to the citizens, how he is talking to MPs, in what meetings he is going, what are the proceedings that he is taking, what are the works he is doing. After 1 year, you will be given the charge of SDM, Sub-Divisional Magistrate. Now that magisterial power is huge. You must have heard recently about the SDM, all must be knowing. And because of some incidents in the recent, the SDM Karnal was in news. Telling about this, SDM power is a very powerful post and a very sensitive post as well. If you talk about the things that are attached with the SDM, for example, you will get a good bungalow. Let me tell my story. I was SDM Danapur cantonment. So there is a Ganga river flowing. In 1880s, some lord must have come there from British India and he must have built a high ceiling roof. It was a lavish bungalow. And on that, so there was a portico. This is my bungalow. And around 10 feet away is the Ganga river. So here is the portico. You just sit there, have a cup of tea in the evening and you just watch Ganga flowing. It is a very beautiful view. Along with that, you get a lot of servants, you get 2 or 3 cars. There will be around 10 to 14 bodyguards or with you. But these are for protection. These are for doing work. For example, whenever there is a law and order problem, let's say that a Hindu-Muslim divide is going on. Many times it happened. There is a region called Fulwari Sharif and it's a densely populated, congested area and both the communities live there. Now what happens is that, let's say in Muharram times, it is a very sensitive thing. In Muharram times what will happen, let's say some Hindu will chant something or they'll try to stop them. So they'll retaliate and in this the situation conflagrates. So what you do is that SDM also goes along with the Muharram procession. He will go first, 10 bodyguards, another force and then the procession is going on. So it is his job to protect the sanity of the society in that case. Whoever is doing wrong, the first responder in that case is SDM. And his parallel compatriot is this DSP, Deputy SP. So SDM and DSP, they go both together, both goes hand in glove together and they move together. After the SDM posting, it is a very good posting. You get to do a lot of magisterial function. You must also all know about the ration scheme that free ration is giving to everyone. If you, the original power of giving a ration card to a person holds with the SDM. Final authority is the sub-divisional magistrate. Beside the magisterial function, there are a lot of development functions also that goes with the SDM. But his function is more or less law and order. So if you want lathi charge, if you are into that attitude कि अच्छा मुझे जो है law and order type का maintain करके रखना है, मेरी society में कुछ गलत नहीं होगा, then that is a phase that you will be excited towards. उसके बाद क्या होता है, you move towards the development side. When you get promoted, for example, presently I am district development commissioner. So let's say I have a good exposure of the things that are going for around 1 year in Bihar. Now some person in this position, what I do is, let's say a old woman comes, she says, I don't have a ration card. Now, who will make the ration card? SDMs makes the ration card. I'll direct a written complaint ki, okay, this old woman has come, she seems genuine. You just inquire into this matter, respond to me within 7 days and get her ration card sanctioned if it is genuine. And you will be able to get that ration card done. Similarly, you have a house. For example, a very old person, disabled person is living in a thatched roof house. झोपड़ी में रहता है. You came to know कि अच्छा ये झोपड़ी में रहता है. Now I should do something about this. Somehow, if I can provide him a house or the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, what better can be? So you have that power. You just get the inspection done and you will be able to sanction a house to that person. If a person is unemployed and if he wants to work, then you can give him a job card and he can at least earn 100 days of employment under the Narega Act. Similarly, there are lots of other departments. Let's say you visit a school, you see that no teachers are coming. There is a pathetic situation in the school. Now you can visit that school and you can direct that headmaster that you should be present here till 4 o'clock and ensure that every child studies. You give the homework, I'll check it, I'll monitor it, share me your photos on WhatsApp. So these are the kind of changes that you bring about the development side. So a lot of power. First I told you about the SDM, where the law and order, where the social fabric of the country you have to protect. You are trying to look after the law and order of the society, and in the second part you are going to look after the development of the society. आपके गली के सामने में एक गांव में एक रोड जाती है जो कि कच्ची रह गई थी, आप उस रोड को बनवा सकते हो. You have that much power. After this comes the third phase. After this you get promoted to become the deputy commissioner or DC here we say. He is known by another names also, he or she. District magistrate, district collector also. Now the terms are also different and they have a different meaning also. When we say district collector, it means that the person is a collector of revenue. So whatever land transaction goes in the entire state or for that matter in entire India, अगर आपने कहीं पर भी ज़मीन खरीदी या बेची या किसी की भी ज़मीन है, DM has a say in it. In the capacity of being a district, there are, let's say, 4 or 5 subdivisions. Similar powers as the subdivision holds to maintain the law and order and ensure the peace in society. Similarly, the district magistrates hold similar power to ensure this. आपने सुना होगा धारा 144 लग गई. Section 144 is enforced in this area. In the COVID times recently, when the order used to pass, it was by the district magistrate that it got sanctity. He used to pass the order under Section 144 of the CRPC and of the Epidemic Act, and under that, no citizen can go outside. So, let's say if you are the DM, if you are the district magistrate, it will be by your sign that you will decide that in this society, who moves or who doesn't move. It's a lot of power to carry. Similarly, besides this is the magisterial function, this is the collector function I told you about, and then there is the development function. Like the district development commissioner or the deputy development commissioner, DM has all the department under his head. Whatever department be in the district, they report back to DM. Let's say executive engineer of this PHED, चापाकल लगता है जो हम लोग का पानी वाला, कहीं पे नहीं लगाता है, वो ठीक नहीं करा रहा था चापाकल. The complaint goes to DM. The DM will write to executive engineer that okay, give me a report within 10 days why this chapakal is not functional and report back to me. He'll report back to you. He'll correct it and then report back to you. Similar is the case with any department. You think of any department in the district, it's all under the tutelage of district magistrate. Indirectly. Because what happens is that whenever, why DM becomes so much powerful? Whenever CM VC happens, let's say Chief Minister does a VC with the districts, or any principal secretary or the secretary wants to take a feedback from the district, okay, how are my roads going? They will not ask the district level officer, rather they will ask the district magistrate. They do VCs with us, they inquire from us, so we in turn get a authority on which we hold them responsible, the district level officers. So it is a lot of power. आप कहीं की रोड, कहीं की बिजली, कोई भी कंप्लेन आएगी किसी भी तरीके की, वो डीएम के पास फ़ोन जाता है और उसको ठीक कराता है. तो इट इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ पावर दैट यू कैरी ऑन योर शोल्डर्स. This is about the power factor. Now, I told you about the bungalow and the facilities that we get. In the DM, they aggravate a lot. Whatever you can think of, the DM gets. For example, he'll get a good bungalow. He'll give a good protection force because he also has to move in law and order situations. Similar is case with the SP or the SSP of the district, Senior Superintendent of the Police. If you get into IPS service or the police services, so similar is the case. You will get a good bungalow. Bodyguards will be there to take care of you, as well as whenever you move into law and order, you have to carry your guards and bring under control the situation. So this was a little brief about the job that I am doing, and the things that if you are interested in, if you start working hard towards it, if you have an intuition towards working it, you can also become. I told you, I am from a very humble background. My father retired from position of head clerk. My village is in Kanpur district of Uttar Pradesh. From there, my family went to Ghaziabad. Father was working there, and from there I started this journey. So any one of you, it's not about the financial constants. It's never about the financial constant. They hardly matter. It's about your willpower. It's about your willpower. For example, I used to read two poems. Two of the things I really liked when I was preparing. One is about Invictus. There is a poem called Invictus, and there is a movie also based on it, Invictus. So there is a very good poem, and in that movie, what happens is that it's about Nelson Mandela. He struggled there in South Africa for 27 years. He was there in a 4x6 room for 27 years. And still he had that willpower that after coming from the jail, he brought the entire country together and he led that country together. He read a very beautiful poem of William Ernest, this Invictus. And another poem that I like is Where the Mind is Without Fear of Rabindranath Tagore. It's a very beautiful poem. We all get encouragement from it. So what happens is that it's a long journey. It's not like that you give a semester exam, 6 months you work, it will get cleared. It's a very long journey. You just think of my situation from 2012. I didn't get in my first attempt. 2013 it wasted. I didn't give any exam. कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. 2012 निकल गया, 13 निकल गया, 14 निकल गया, 15वां वाले जो एग्जाम आया था उसमें मेरा हुआ. 4 साल के लिए आपको पेशेंस चाहिए कि आप उस लेवल का पेशेंस मेंटेन करो. That you study daily, you keep yourself motivated, you do not get distracted anywhere, and then you get to crack the exam. It's not an easy task. I have many friends who are IITians or who are from AIMS or many good colleges. They started with me, but after 1 or 2 years of attempt, they went away. Because it requires a lot of dedication from your part. No one is going to do the work for you. It's on you. And anyone can do it if I can do it. Now I'll tell you about Anurag. Anurag is my very good friend, close friend. Now what happened is in Motilal Nehru, so we met in first year. So I went in the class and here was this guy. He got 94, 95%, whatever be the case, in UP board. I got in CBSE board 87% and he was the topper of the entire state. And I was in awe that I am sitting with UP board topper. So that time Anurag was there and I was always in awe of him. But because of certain situations, he had to carry forward. He went for working in Reliance Industries. After coming from Reliance Industry, we usually get to talk. After getting selected in IAS, I told him that, Bhai, if I can get in, you can get in for damn sure. You have such a level of dedication. You are so much sharp. You have nothing to worry. And that day he left the job. He left the job and he came here. He came here in Delhi. So that was a level of commitment. From that day, constantly he was working towards it. Every year, see, what happens is that society also makes us sometimes a little on back foot. For example, if you are convent educated, you already have an edge over the person who is in studying from a village school. Similar was the case with Anurag, that he has to work with English, and his communication skills will not be as prominent as will be a student from the GD Goenka school, nor will mine. मेरी भी उतनी अच्छी नहीं होगी. ये मैं जितना बोल रहा हूँ आज, मुझे कुछ नहीं बोलना आता. मैं बता रहा था कि वो दिन भी था जब मैं आते आते शिवर कर रहा था और मैं बोर्ड के सामने में कुछ बोल भी नहीं पा रहा था, मेरा गला सूख गया था. और आज हम लोग इतनी सभाओं को संबोधित करते हैं, हम लोग को बहुत सारा बोलना पड़ता है कि लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन करते हैं. तो कॉन्फिडेंस की बात होती है और कुछ नहीं है. इट्स ऑल अबाउट द कॉन्फिडेंस. सो अनुराग टुडे इज हियर. यू आर ऑल इन वेरी गुड हैंड्स. खासकर जो यूपीएससी की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, हम लोगों का बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन रहा है, और लॉट ऑफ आवर कॉमन फ्रेंड्स, दे ऑल्सो नो अनुराग, एंड ही इज सच अ हम्बल गाय. ही ओनली वर्क्स, कुछ भी इधर उधर का नहीं, सिर्फ पढ़ाई करता है. और क्या कहते हैं, अभी तो आप लोगों को मैंने कुछ स्टूडेंट से भी मिला था, ही इज़ मेंटरिंग, आप लोगों को एकदम अच्छे से मेंटर भी कर रहा है. And by God's great, he got selected in the DSP of UP Police as well. Such a great achievement. मैं तो कुछ काम करा नहीं पाता अपने उत्तर प्रदेश में, मैं बिहार तक ही सीमित है मेरी रेंज, मगर उत्तर प्रदेश में आ गया. मैंने कहा अब तो चलो खुशी हो गई. बट माई बेस्ट विशेज आर विद हिम. मैं वो दिन देखना चाहता हूँ जब ये एकदम IAS बन के मेरे साथ चले, तो ऐसा दिन भी आएगा. तो मैं उम्मीद आखिरी में यही करता हूँ, एंड माई बेस्ट विशेज टू एवरी वन, that each of you get motivated to choose your dream. It may not be the civil services for that matter. If you are interested in anything else, you go on, but pursue that dream with entire willpower. Just use your willpower and say कि क्या मैंने अपना 100% दिया? Did I give my 100% to achieve that thing which I was wishing for? You just go on with that thought. There is one life, there is a one dream. If you are willing to put that effort, you are going to put that effort, you are going to put that dedication into achieving that effort, your entire problem is solved. You will sleep with a contented, you will lead a contented life. For example, आज मैं बन गया IAS, तो अब मैं एकदम संतुष्ट हूँ कि हाँ चलो अब मैं IAS बन गया. It was my dream, मेरे पिताजी का भी सपना था, अब मैं बन गया, अब मुझे बहुत खुशी है. अब जो चीज़ें बाकी चल रही हैं, दे आर अ पार्ट ऑफ इट, दे आर अ पार्ट ऑफ द जॉब. इसीलिए किसी और का कोई और भी ड्रीम हो सकता है, बट आई इंस्टिल इन यू कि आप लोग उस ड्रीम को परसू करो. इट कैन बी एनीथिंग. इफ यू वांट टू बी अ पायलट, गो फॉर इट. अभी भी कोई देर नहीं. इफ यू वांट टू बी अ डिजाइनर, गो फॉर इट. एंड इफ यू वांट टू बी इन सिविल सर्विसेज, गो फॉर इट. दिस वाज जस्ट अ जिस्ट ऑफ एंटायर थिंग्स दैट आई हैड गॉन थ्रू इन माई जर्नी फॉर द लास्ट 5 years एज IAS officer, and my journey will go on for the another, let's say, 25 years. And I hope and wish to see many of you from this batch to get inspired by me, to get inspired by Anurag, and to take back some learnings from here and to start preparing for UPSC or to choose your dream, whatever you want to be. But lead a life where you choose your dream and you pursue your dream. Thank you. Thank you very much.